Okay, hi, Mr. Williams. Firstly, I'm going to start the chat by saying congratulations. I got your email 2 days ago, which was 29th of April 2025, and it was quite exciting to finally get the email from me. I know we've had like a few conversations on interviews, conversations about after the training, and yeah, it's quite interesting to get that fantastic email that I do hope to get from people from you. So yeah, I've got a couple of questions I want to ask, and this is probably going to be like an extension of questions I've heard from people who are also trying to get into the same data analytics space, and hopefully your experience can one inspire someone out there and also help people kind of help them make better informed decision on their journey. Now, based on your experience on going for a couple of interviews, what are the things or what are the skill sets you think are very much relevant if you're looking at getting into data analytics?
Yeah, getting into data analytics is more or less like you need to understand what is required in terms of skills.
Yes, sir.
And also in terms of your experience in respect to the key things that are required as a person. You should be able to have the ability to do some good analysis and also be able to have the tools that are required for such analysis. Then talk in terms of having experience using SQL,
yes, sir.
using Excel, and also dashboard. So this concept I got from the training that we had. We had a training because my background is I came from technical background,
yes, sir.
into business development, sales. Then I had to do masters in data science and artificial intelligence. So it's like trying to ask myself, what's the best part or the best way for me to get into the data space, right? Yeah. So I see that data analysis is more or less like the best route for me to enter into that space. So I had that conversation where you now gave me the more or less like the training, that different kind of training on different stages. Yeah. After the training, you now have a kind of general concept of what is actually required for data analysis, which is the SQL, the Excel, ability to create dashboard and also do analysis and all that. So that gave me the concept.
Yeah.
Required.
Thanks so much for that response. You've probably answered, the next question I'm going to ask, but you can probably just give us like more context. So in terms of like your journey into getting this first offer in data analytics, which I believe is the first offer, in many that you're still going to get anyway. The most challenging part is getting into the space, and now that you've gotten in, it's just for you to start exploring the massive opportunities there is in data analytics. So my next question would be, just in addition to what you've said already, we did this training a while ago, and in your opinion or your own thoughts, do you think the training actually helped in any way in you getting into the space of data analytics? In terms of like technical assessments, the support that came with interview prep, CV review, did all of that training with TechDrive kind of help you in any way? Just so people out there who are looking at either joining the training or on the training can say if it's really relevant in getting a job, basically.
Yes, for you to go into the data analysis space, you need somebody to hold your hands to make it easy for you. So that's what I figured out, and I started following you way back, even before I came to UK.
Yeah.
So I saw your journey all the way, and even how you transition into data analysis space and everything. Quite interesting journey. Your space, it's quite inspiring. So it was just more or less like naturally to reach out to you, so that somebody can hold your hand, to go into that space. So the training was just what somebody needed, right, to be able to get into that space. So just after the training, you have a bit of confidence when they're asking. You want to go into data analysis, you understand what it means, what they are. Even though you may have a bit of knowledge of Excel and SQL and everything, but the training brings everything together for you, right? Into perspective that this is actually what is required for you to get into that space, right? So it just simplifies the whole thing for you and makes you to focus your energy where you're supposed to focus to get into the data analysis spaces. The training is quite intensive, and also it's something that you can go back to because it's also recorded.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because I know I could remember when I was having the training with you, I was still working remotely, right?
Yeah, I
So
remember.
to get full attention to follow what you are teaching me, I was struggling because I'm still working with my previous company, and I'm still having that training. So my attention was a bit of a problem. But then I can go back to the video
Yeah, true.
and play it back, right? So it still comes out fresh, to remind you of what you have forgotten and the rest. So the training was very effective for me.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, sir. I mean, just like every other person, I'm definitely sure you've got your own share of, rejection email, applying for jobs, sometimes even get ghosted, not getting called for interview. Now, with this part, I know we had like an interview prep for the first interview you had. So in terms of like applications, how did you still stay on that journey to wanting to get into data despite all of the disappointment that came from applying for jobs, not getting called for an interview? How did you manage that particular? I mean, so many people that will be watching this video are in that phase right now, applying for
Yeah.
jobs, getting rejections, failing interviews. So how did you manage that phase and still stay consistent until you got your first analyst job?
Yeah, initially I started off, but I wasn't a bit of focus on it
Yeah.
until January this year when I finally left the company I was working with, and I
Okay.
decided to now pay attention and focus on the application. So that's when I started applying, right, aggressively. So I
Okay.
use different kind of platforms to do the application, to apply, and also try to look at the areas that, I mean, based on my experience where I'm coming from, companies that I may best, fit into,
It
right?
is.
Fit into. So I was also looking at that and all that. So some companies will reach out to me, but at the back of my mind, I know that I may struggle, if they continue, with that the process, because sometimes you apply and they will get back to you and they will need more information, right? So and at that point, it doesn't progress to the next stage,
Next stage.
right?
Yeah.
So I was able to get some response. About how many responses? About 4 or 5 responses,
Okay.
right? That needed me to provide more information. Some require maybe if I can drive. Some also require maybe
Yeah.
if I stay within the
The
location.
location.
I
Yeah.
could remember somebody from, a company from Scotland. They needed me to. They said they needed a company, but I'm the UK, somewhere up north. So
Yeah.
I worked within that area, and it was a no for them. So those kind of variations, you just know that they are not very suitable for you. So
True.
the two that stood out for me, the first one, that was when I called you. I like the company because they are coming from a renewable energy space where I
Space.
play.
You have experience in already.
Yeah, so I saw it as a company that I can push to get in. So we had that the prep and everything, but it didn't play out the way I wanted.
Yeah.
Because after the interview, I even did self-assessment. I told myself, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this went very well, right? Because it was like somebody. It was a bit of trying to be desperate, right? I saw a bit of desperation on my side when I was having that interview, and I know that no, that doesn't work. Yeah,
True.
you have to come from the place of authority and confidence.
Exactly.
Right? That
Exactly.
you know what you're doing, I know, and engage them and present very well, so that they be very comfortable. So the second one interview that came, learning from the first one, which was also
Yeah.
very helpful. When I got the rejection letter that it wasn't successful, it was very those kind of letters are not very palatable. There's no way you can go around it to make you feel happy about it.
True. Yeah.
You just have to find a way to just endure and just keep applying that, hoping that the right one will definitely come.
Definitely come.
Right?
Yeah.
The right one, all you need is a yes, just one yes from
And
you.
everything.
Keep
Yeah.
trying everything. So the second one came, and I learned from the first mistake and be able to go there and be myself, right? Based on the experience where I'm coming from and the things I've learned. So you have the skill that you have learned, you have the ability to present, and also then able to be like you are part of the team. So you talk from that point of view, like you're selling yourself, being comfortable and everything. So I also say that me coming from the sales background, I ask myself, how do I used to sell? I don't push product on somebody.
Exactly.
I just have a kind of consultancy discussion with the people, and they feel very comfortable by it. So I went there and I sat down and I had discussion with them. The first interview was like that. People were asking me about the display tool. Their case, they are not using Power BI.
Okay.
They are not using Tableau.
Oh, interesting.
They are using Lucas Studio.
Lucas Studio, yeah.
That was the first time I'm hearing Lucas Studio.
Lucas Studio, yeah.
But I told them, look, it's a software. So if you know Power BI and you know, definitely you would know that. And I made reference to where I was working that we use CRM, Salesforce. So when I joined the company initially, I didn't know much about Salesforce, right? But I told them, look, it's a software. I can learn it. I have the ability to learn it. And when I finished with that, I ended up teaching people in my team how to use it. So I made that reference to them, right? Now, Lucas Studio, I already know. So it's a software. You can always learn how to, do your business and everything. So the first level went very well. They then called me. They sent me another email that it went well and they want to move to the next stage.
Nice.
Which is had to be both physical one. I had to be in the office, and before then they gave me a task to do, 2 tasks to develop a dashboard. So the second task, there's kind of mistakes on the data side. So they wanted to figure out the mistakes and the
data issue,
and data issues and correct them and do that. So I was able to do those tasks and go back to them. So the day I was supposed to submit the thing, I got there. I think there was a kind of network issue there that day. So they postponed the meeting. They postponed the meeting and they fixed it the next day. I mean, another day for me to go.
Yeah.
When I got back home, I started to look at the task again because I've not submitted it.
Yeah.
I started to look at the task again. I discovered that I actually had some kind of oversight.
Oh, sometimes
that I had and everything. And that was because Lucas Studio is a bit different from Power BI.
Yeah.
So I was able to use that opportunity again to look into the what I've already done. So corrected the mistake, and so the eventual day that I went there, I met with the people in charge, the HR and the person in charge of the department. So had a very good discussion. I just be myself and just have discussions.
Exactly.
Comfortable and discuss, So when we finished, I was waiting for their feedback and everything. It took some couple of weeks for them to come.
Okay.
So on Monday, and I saw the email enter my box. Offer entered.
Interesting.
That's how the whole thing. That is just to narrow the story, because if you look at the other, unfortunately, those ones, they are countless.
True. True.
Very countless, right? You are applying in Indeed, you are applying in Total Jobs, applying everywhere. At the point itself, it's like you are going crazy.
True.
What is going on?
True.
I yes, to enter into the corporate world.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I tell people that, especially when it comes to interview, make it more of a conversation than an interrogation. I've seen people go for interviews and, it's like someone asks you a question, you want to quickly answer them, you want to give them answers. No, just make it a conversation. I mean, in some of the interviews I've done personally in the past, when I respond to a question, when they want to move to the next question, most of them, what they tell me is, you've answered this next question in your first, because when you're not interrogating me, I'm just having a chat with you. Yes. Relaxed, calm and all of that. So, exactly. So what you've done, it looks like you did exactly the same during the interview, because the 2 other questions I've got to ask, you've answered them already. which exactly is the way it should be when you go for interview. Just, show confidence and competence. That's my slogan. If you are able to show those two, you're fine, really.
Yeah.
You definitely
No,
find.
even the skill can be learned, right? That's
True,
skill can
true.
they are looking for somebody that have what it takes to be part of them
Mm-hmm.
and can learn whatever that's in addition to what you already have.
Oh,
So that confidence is very key,
very,
you
very
know.
key. I mean, for that local studio you mentioned too, obviously it's quite different. On my current role now, because we do lots of, we get lots of data from Google Analytics. So some of the reports we get data from, we get data source from Google. We oftentimes use Looker Studio to create the dashboard. I mean, it's a little bit different. Unlike Power BI, whereby you can have one filter and it covers all the charts. In Looker Studio, you have to put filter in each of the charts, one after the other, which is quite annoying. But I mean, as I said, one can always learn. When I got on this role, I never knew anything about Looker Studio either. When responsibility came that requires me to create dashboard on Local Studio, I had to learn. Do you get what
Yeah.
I mean? So I mean, one might not
Okay,
be.
yours is making you to. Okay, just go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, for example, now we have a couple of products that we've got out there that we get customers across the UK visit our website to access those products and services. So one of the things I do on my current role now is to kind of create insight and analysis to show trends. So the
Okay.
data we're working with is coming from Google Analytics.
Oh,
So instead of extracting the data into CSV file and then bringing it into Power BI, we just
Yeah.
decided, you know what, any data source coming from Google Analytics, do the dashboard on Looker Studio.
yeah.
So, I mean, it was not a tool I was using before. I mean, even before last year, I never knew anything about anything about
Looker Studio.
Looker Studio. But yeah, as I said, one skills can be learned. So
Exactly.
what most those guys look for is, even if you don't know how to use their tool, they want to see if you have that competence in what you used to do,
Exactly.
hoping and believing that you'll be able to transfer that same skill set into
Yes.
what they use, basically.
Into what is it? Yeah.
So which is quite an interesting one. Yeah, I mean, you've answered all the questions we might have. The last one I've got is just to, what advice would you have for anyone who is trying to get into data and finding it very difficult? So if you go to, I mean, based on your experience, going for interviews, failing some, passing some interviews, failing, to get called for interviews and then getting some interviews. I mean, based on your experience in the last couple of months, what would your advice be for someone who is wanting to get into data but finding it difficult?
How's the best way to give some advice? I think you should be able to know that, okay, this is what I want, because there are so many options there,
Sure.
right, on what you can do. But you need to make up your mind that, okay, I want to go into data analysis space. Then also you have to know what are the requirements, what are they looking out for. Then your CV also need to reflect that, right? Because they don't know you aside from what is on your CV.
Yes.
So you need to try as much as possible for your CV to capture what the cost, what the company is looking for.
Sure.
From there, you'll be able to now get into the point where they can call you for interview.
Okay.
And during the interview also, you need to look at what are the companies into,
Sure.
right? So it look as if you're already part of the company even before you join them.
Sure.
So by studying them, right, and trying to figure yourself already like you are working with them,
Sure.
right, and also analyzing things from their own perspective based on the information you find on their website.
Sure.
So when you have opportunity to discuss with them, it's like they are giving information that you already know about their company.
About them, yeah.
Yes, and there's a way you can have that discussion that you see that the discussion will be less of technical, to be more of the knowledge and what you are bringing on board and what you know about the company and your experience where you're coming from. See how your experience, your soft skill is able to also come into the space of analysis. You'll be very shocked that what you know is very valuable to the company you are going to. At a point he came to me and said, this inner voice said, the version you are hiding, Williams, is the version that the company wants to what you is looking for.
True.
That's when I said, be yourself. To me, be yourself. He said, the version you are hiding, because you just want to be sounding technical.
Exactly.
He said, that version is not what they are looking for. He said, there's a version you are hiding, which is the person you have been, the experience you have gathered over the years. That have made you successful in whatever roles that you have played. That's that version. try to also bring it into the interview space.
Yeah,
so
true.
It will now go together with your skill and everything, and it will move forward. So, and I believe that there is a role for every person.
True.
Right? So when your own role comes, just ensure that you take advantage.
You're well prepared for it. Yeah.
To be at the top candidates that they will pick.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's no easy route. I mean, there's no easy way to it.
You just have to pay the price
until you open. It's like knock until the door opens.
Just keep knocking.
Don't give up. Yes,
I like that.
Definitely get it. Yes.
Knocking. I like that. So yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for agreeing to jump on this. And then the last thing I'll probably this will probably take you like 10 seconds to respond to this question. As someone who had gone through the data analytics training with TechDrive, would you recommend the training for anyone who is looking at getting into data?
Yes, sure. We're going to go into data analysis. You need somebody to hold you by hands, right? So you need to be guided, given the necessary training that is required, right, to be able to help you, give you that edge that you need in the space. Absolutely. But here is very competitive, very competitive. So you need that strong backing to be able to
an edge
go for the training, and also interview prep that is required, and also try to network as well.
True.
It is possible that the company you are going into, somebody within your network have information about the company.
Yeah, true.
Right. Like this company I entered, somebody that within my network has done interview with that company before and was not successful. But he told me what to anticipate. So everything just like he added very well for me. So those kind of information, even though it may not be exactly what you
meet, kind of help.
It prepares you, right, better to also have an edge when you get there. So I recommend TechDrive anytime, any day.
Thank you, sir.
Necessary training that is required.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. And once again, congratulations. And as I said earlier, this is going to be the first offer among many others to come as you get into the data analytics space. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.